any of you are following our Instagram, you would know that my dad and I are working on a project car. It's a 1987 MR2. The previous owner lost the wheel lock key. I wanted to show everyone a technique for taking off the lug nuts if you lost the key. Please do not use this technique to steal wheels. First, find a bolt and a nut that fit together. You will need to place the nut inside of a 12-point socket. It's very important to do this, otherwise it will be difficult to pull apart the socket and lug nut. The socket size that I use will be different than what you will use. It needs to be slightly smaller than the lug nut because you will be hammering it on. The forced on socket is what will be removing the lug nut. Also important to remember that the socket will get damaged, so use a cheap socket. Okay, so remember to place the small nut inside the socket. Then go ahead and hammer the socket onto the lug nut. Then using a breaker bar, turn it counterclockwise. In my case, the wheel was spinning and the car doesn't have any brakes, so I stuck a hammer handle to keep the wheel from spinning. But if your car is on the ground, you don't need to worry about this. If your car is in the air like mine is, just have someone apply the brakes while you take off the lug nut. Now we have taken off the lug nut. It is stuck onto the socket. The first time I did this, I didn't place a nut inside the socket, and until now I can't get the lug nut apart from the socket. But since you placed the nut inside the socket like I warned you, all you have to do is screw the bolt into the nut that you placed inside. Then place your socket over the next size up socket and hit the bolt with a hammer. I was using an 18mm socket to hammer on, so I used a 19mm socket to go under and catch the lug nut. And if we look inside the bigger socket, we can see that the lug nut fell inside and is now free. Here is a picture of the lug nuts I removed. The long socket is my first attempt at removing the lug nuts. Although I still managed to take it off, the lug nut is now stuck inside my socket and I can't pull it apart. I hope this video helps someone. Take care and don't steal any wheels. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and subscribe. We have more car videos coming up soon.